Tonight, we're talking about the obscure case of Peter Simel, better known as Palm Beach Pete. You've heard of him, right? So where do we begin with this? Well, let's start with where this guy came from. In mid-March of this year, a viral TikTok video showed a man sitting in his convertible in Palm Beach, Florida. The video went viral due to his uncanny resemblance to Jeffrey Epstein. And we do want to point out, if Peter Simel really just happens to look like Jeffrey Epstein, then that is an unfortunate coincidence. The video could have gone viral. He could have claimed it was only a misunderstanding, and he could have moved on. But this is where the story becomes significantly more controversial and conspiratorial. See, less than 48 hours after the initial video was posted, a TikTok account was named Palm Beach Pete, and it posted a response. This video featured Peter Simel debuting his character as Palm Beach Pete.
I'm not Jeffrey Epstein. I'm Palm Beach Pete.
Yeah, there he was. Well, within 6 days of making his account, Palm Beach Pete gained 400,000 followers and was featured on Jimmy Kimmel the same week he created that TikTok. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I have not heard of anyone else who was previously unknown gaining 400,000 followers in less than a week and then being invited on late-night talk shows, especially when the claim to fame is looking like the most evil person in recent history. The story of Palm Beach Pete, though, does not end here. For the next 3.5 months, the character of Palm Beach Pete had one mission: to build as many connections between him and Jeffrey Epstein as he possibly could. Now, those connections were purposely more vague at first, such as Palm Beach Pete admitting to knowing Epstein, but only as an acquaintance at house parties, right? This is a strange thing to say. It gets stranger. Like in this video, where you can see he is standing in front of a jet that also happens to look exactly like Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express. Or in this TikTok, where you can see that the house behind him holds a very strong resemblance to the home next to Epstein's residence in Palm Beach. And of course, there's this facial resemblance that is so close that both men have the same bottom teeth. Now, these videos garnished different reactions. Some people believe that Palm Beach Pete is undeniably, unquestionably Jeffrey Epstein. Others defended him, claimed, no, he's not. Look, no matter what the truth was, eventually Palm Beach Pete, though, started losing popularity. That's the way these things work, right? You're popular today, and nobody cares tomorrow. People weren't as interested in him as they were before, until recently, when 3 new posts stormed the internet, starting with this one.
That's Palm Beach Pete. Hold on. Jeffrey.
Palm Beach Pete.
Yeah, you heard that correct. In an incredibly comfortable fashion, Palm Beach Pete turns towards the man who calls him Jeffrey, right? Believe what you want here, but his response to hearing that name looks undeniably natural. The second post was from Palm Beach Pete's Instagram, where he is seen posing with former President Bill Clinton. He even goes as far as commenting, "Bill Clinton is my favorite president." Just as a quick reminder here, for those of you who may not know, Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein were very, very close. They went on trips to Africa together. Epstein visited Clinton's White House dozens of times, and Clinton took dozens of trips on Epstein's private jet, the Lolita Express, so often that he would often sign fake names in the guest book so he could ride more often. Obviously, this post was made to gain a reaction. And look, clearly it's working. We're talking about it. But most people understand where the line is between being insensitive and being vile. And the final post in this TikTok, he is pretending that he's being interviewed by Netflix. You've seen this trend for a documentary about, quote, the parties. And then you see it happen there in that video, which, by the way, is also a gambling ad. He takes a bite out of a slice of cheese pizza. As I said, vile. So this detail is completely unrelated to the rest of the video, right? Why would you include it? Well, if you've watched our show for a while, then you will remember my extensive reporting on Pizzagate and pizza-coded language being linked to pedophiles, and the fact that in the Epstein emails and the Epstein files that came out 911 times, he talked about pizza. And the most common term used is cheese pizza. The abbreviation comes as CP. It is code language for child pornography. Again, the references he's making, they're not quirky, they're not cute, they're not lighthearted. They are references to some of the most disgusting and despicable crimes ever committed by those who are in power. And what does he get out of all those references, huh? Well, I guess it depends on who you ask. Some might say, it's just for attention. Others will say he's trolling, right? He's taunting people here. But the better question is, who is Peter Simel really? Is he just an opportunist who's willing to play a character for his own personal benefit, trying to build some kind of a brand? Or is he really the one and only Jeffrey Epstein, flaunting around, mocking us for never taking action against the rich and powerful? Look, we don't know, and that's for you to decide, right? We're not going to answer that question tonight. But what is clear is this. This is what happens when there are no consequences for people who commit the most heinous of crimes.